The 2019 Formula Drift Championship is back for season 16, and there is a stacked field of drivers ready to take on and take down the likes of James Dean and Frederick Osbo on the streets of Long Beach. The Streets, as it's known, is the tightest and most exciting track on the tour. Concrete walls and blind corners challenge drivers to compete at the highest level. But for whoever comes out on top, they will be leading the championship with 7 rounds left to go. Now it's time to go inside the series, only on Formula Drift Insider. The 2018 season celebrated 15 years of Formula Drift. Round 1, the streets of Long Beach. It was anybody's game, but Frederick Osbo came out on top. Round 2, we make our way to Orlando, where Chris Forsberg, the 3-time champion, gets back on the box and gets the win. James Dean in second, Osbo in third. And adding more diversity, Christoph Blush from Latvia gets his first ever win on the hallowed grounds of Road Atlanta. Moving on, the Formula Drift Circus heads to the East Coast in New Jersey. James Dean, defending champion, gets his first win of the year, but he betters it by going to Seattle, battling Turk, and getting a back-to-back win. As we head out of the battle in Seattle, we head to a different STL, this time St. Louis, a new track for the Formula Drift Championship. James Dean, with back-to-back wins, looks like he wants to go back-to-back championships, but Frederick Osbo, who won in Long Beach, gets the win here at St. Louis. The Lone Star State, Texas Motor Speedway, Round 7, under the lights, Wordhouse Drift Team gets the win. This time, it's Peter Visick, the Polish driver. The championship contenders still make an appearance, holding carbon, Osbo and James Dean, staging a finale of the ages. Vaughn Gittin Jr. and Frederick Osbo don't go once, twice, but 3 times to get an eventual victor that is Vaughn Gittin Jr., spoiling Frederick Osbo's championship win. That means James Dean is back-to-back and 2018 Formula Drift champion.
You know, last year was great. I mean, we kept things consistent with the car. I feel like I'm finally extremely comfortable in the car, and I think my mind was right. You know, I was having fun again. I had that support in my pit of the guys wanting me to do well. I think that's a key to success, is having a good team around you that wants you to do well. You know, and I couldn't do it without those guys.
Being able to take us all the way to a 4th place overall finish with 5 blown motors, 7 mechanical outs out of 8 rounds, something like that, which is insane. We were like on 5 cylinders for 3 of the rounds in battle. So we were definitely not suited to have a good season, and to finish right behind the top 3 bros was, in our minds, very successful.
Last year was like my best season, or the best season I've had of driving performance, I think. I just had some super hard battles, especially with James Dean, who I still haven't beat yet. Hopefully that happens this year. And yeah, so I think my tandem driving escalated. It got a hell of a lot better. The car was phenomenal, the best it had ever been. And I still only finished 6th in the championship. We had a couple issues at 2 events, but nothing major.
Yeah, so last year was a complete whirlwind of emotions. We started out pretty strong in Long Beach. We qualified well, and we got knocked out with a mechanical failure. In Orlando, we got 2nd, Chris Forsberg. And throughout the year, we've had a couple of wins, a couple of podiums, and going into Irwindale, we were leading. Frederick right on our tails, and yeah, the pressure was on for sure. And final event was just crazy. It was one I was looking forward to, and so far I haven't been extremely lucky in Irwindale. So I wanted to, you know, try to finish the season strong.
The Irwindale Finals last year, that was probably one of my most favorite events of all time. We came in with a theoretical chance at the championship, but not really a likely chance of winning the championship. But then James went out early. We went through the battles. We won 32, we won 16, we won 8, we won top 4. Then we ended up in the finals, and we knew that if we would win that final against Vaughn Gittin Jr., we would clinch the championship. And it led to not only one more time, but 2 more times until we eventually lost.
I was happy to play a small role in helping James get that. James is someone I've watched come up. I got a lot of respect for him, and hands down, I believe he's probably the most competitively successful drifter in the world ever. So huge respect for him. And yeah, when we were doing the battle, Osbo was changing his tires, and I pulled up, started revving and banging on my hood, and I looked at James, I pointed at him like, I got you, man, we're gonna do this. And it was fun. I was just having a lot of fun with it. And when I have fun and I'm where I need to be in my head, I get great results. So that's the goal this year, is to be where I need to be, keep the positive vibes up, and go out there and have fun, man, and do what I know I can do.
I was a little bit heartbroken when we lost that championship, but then I realized it wasn't really ours to win. We messed up earlier in the season. We got really lucky through the finals up until not having any more luck. But the coolest part about the finals in 2018 was to keep everybody on the edge of their seats.
It was just so hard to take in everything that happened at that event. But this is motorsport. You never know what's going to happen, and it's never over until it's over. But yeah, to say that we got the championship back to back is an incredible thing to be able to say, and definitely the biggest achievement of my life.
Formula Drift Insider on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Black Magic. Own your shine. By Gum Out. Science in, performance out. And by Air Force. Aim high.
Now it's 2019. Round 1 of the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship. This is the streets of Long Beach. Truth be told, this is the best the cars are going to look all season.
So being here is a very exciting moment, because first of all, it's the beginning of the season, and the second thing is simply this spot is amazing. The track is right next to the beach, in the great environment, great surroundings, weather is great, and hopefully it will stay like that for the for the competition, because this track, when it's dry, it's a great pleasure simply to drive.
I mean, it's important for every round to come in and kill it, but like Long Beach really sets the tone, and it kind of gets like people watching you, and it gets like motivational team high and like partnerships, and just everything is great if you can come out swinging and land on the box.
Being able to do drift on the streets of Long Beach, the cityscape in the background, the ocean, at your toes basically. Everybody's pumped to be back here. Such a great venue. Super hard track if you don't know what you're doing, because everything is blind. But I think once you get used to it, it's just muscle memory, and it's the most fun track on the circuit in my opinion.
It's funny, I'm terrible at a lot of things in life. I don't have great structure, work ethic, I'm lazy at times, but when it's on, I'm really on. And it's almost like I get better the more stressful it is. With that said, I'm hoping for a wild Long Beach. I'm hoping that we'll see some fierce battles. I'm hoping that our off-season prep is going to pay off. I'm hoping that I can bring the mindset from the Urbandale finals to the start line in Long Beach.
You can feel the atmosphere from inside the cars. It's amazing to drive here, and honestly speaking, it's my favorite track. It's my favorite track in the world. I think it's really unique. Street course going from wall to wall, full lock to full lock, full throttle, lots of smoke, lots of speed, and close battles. So it doesn't get better than that, and it's a risky track. So no matter how comfortable you feel here, it can all go wrong just like that. So you have to stay focused and go all in.
It's official. Off-season is over. It's Saturday, game day. Practice is wrapping up, and teams are dialing in their vehicles, their strategy, and their tire usage. This is the last opportunity to make your mark on arguably the biggest event of the year. And while many teams will be defeated, one team in particular is dealing with one of the worst potential possibilities.
Practice car was feeling awesome. Literally the best it's ever been. The guys put a sweet setup on it. Tires working great. Everything just coming together. Chase laps felt phenomenal. Car was super grippy. Just able to dig it on everybody's door. Lead laps also felt great, better than my qualifying laps yesterday, like I said I needed to do. And then last lap of practice, I don't know why it's always got to be the last one, but power steering belt failed, either slipped off or shredded or something, but coming past the first outer clip, when I went to clutch back into the throttle, there was no power steering, and the car just gripped up instantly, and at that point I just passenger and tried to steer it straight to the tire walls instead of that concrete wall. So we went from 45 miles an hour to 0 into the tire walls, so the chassis is done. We got about 10 days to figure something out. It doesn't really leave you enough time to build an entirely new car. So we're just trying to look at options right now and figure out what we're going to bring to Orlando.
How was it to deal with that, emotionally?
You know, I've been in car accidents before, unfortunately, and also some minor crashes and drifting, but nothing like this. It's just no, it doesn't really affect me. I grew up racing dirt bikes, plenty of broken bones, and I've had some serious wrecks, waking up on the ground with a bunch of people hanging over me, so this isn't really that bad.
You do have a backup car over there that Dunkin' Donuts on though, right?
We do, actually, yeah. I don't know if it'll pass tech, but we could ask Kevin anyway.
All joking aside, Ryan Turk and his team are already thinking about strategy for Orlando.
Formula Drift Insider on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Nexen Tire. We got you. By NOS High Performance Energy. How hard will you drive? And by Falcon Tires.
The Queen sits in the harbor, but the King is on the streets of Long Beach. Michael Essa, Matt Field, Dai Yoshihara, Vaughn Gittin Jr., Chelsea Denofa, Odi Bakshis, Ken Gushi, Peter Visick, James Dean, Travis Reeder, Chris Forsberg, Dean Carney, Ryan Littoral, Frederick Osbo, and Justin Pollock. These are the gladiators, and the stage is set. The first battle of the top 16 has the #1 qualifier, Matt Field, going against the OG, Ken Gushi. He's been here since day one, and unfortunately, he's never won in Long Beach, and he won't win today as Matt Field moves on.
If I would have just got off it a half second sooner, it would have been just like out and through and done, but it was just like that, like as he was doing the downshift coming up, it just gave me this little bump.
A highly anticipated battle between Denofa and Forsberg, with Forsberg high fives all around getting the win.
I thought it's going to be a great battle. He's a great driver, I was going to push it. I had a really good lead run, and I think he followed me really well. And when we switch, when I follow, I know he's fast. I wanted to put my car right next to him from the beginning, but I just misjudged, and it was a really stupid mistake. I hit the wall and I couldn't continue to run.
Definitely not how I wanted to win, but we're moving on.
Essa was fast, and we knew this in practice, so I knew that I was going to have to try very hard. And honestly, after my lead run, my spotter said, Essa, he was on you. He made one little bobble, but he was on you. You're going to have to give it all you got. And I knew that was going to happen, and then it really dawned on me, I got to push it really hard. We're in top 16 at Long Beach.
All the drivers know what's at stake. Grinding away, our next battle is Battle of Ireland. This isn't just for the win, this is for bragging rights. These guys are friends off track, but now, on track, no holds barred. James the Machine Dean, defending champion, going against his friend Dean Carnage Carney. Carnage Carney debuting a new engine at this track and for the season. These two drivers have so much driving experience together, they get pushed to the limit, so they go one more time. That's when literally and figuratively, everything starts to heat up.
There's a huge pump in there.
On his way back or whatever, just must have started overheating. So yes sir, he had 1 second left and he was rolling.
In the one more time battle, while I was leading, he spun out in the first corner behind me, and just on my transition, my car switched off. We think it was the nitrous, and we put in a hard but decent chase run. But it's going to be a fight. It's hard work, but we're trying our best.
So we were going out there with everything we had a decently clean lead run. It wasn't perfect. I was a little bit late in turn 2. But it was enough for us to give us a slight advantage going into run 2. Chasing Ryan, I was pretty close on him, and luckily for me, he missed the last inner a little bit, to where I was able to finish off all the way by his side.
And that's always a good feeling, being able to put an exclamation mark to the run like that. So we move on into the top 8, super stoked.
I was happy. He was having a really good line. He just bounced off the wall of the first touch and go zone once, and it was cool to watch it from the inside. Actually, I managed to stay behind him, and yeah, in general, I'm excited about top 8.
Kind of pinballed myself around. I bumped the first wall, bumped the second wall, made the inner clip, finished the run pretty smoothly. On the chase, I just knew I had to stick with him the best I could, and going through the course, it's hard following Vaughn. You know, he's like lifting wheels, and you know it's loud and crazy. But second outer zone, I had him reeled in pretty well, and finished off the course pretty smooth, and ended up getting the win.
Closing out the top 16, we enter into the Grade 8, Forsberg versus Field.
I knew Matt was going to be fast and clean, pushing on through turn 1, pushing on through turn 2, and in my head I was like, this is sick, right? It felt great. And then as we left touch and go, as we left the judges' wall, I knew in my head I needed to back off just a half second sooner, and I didn't, and I bumped him. And I had a little half spin and gained a little ground, dove back in. On my lead run, just went out there and threw down a sick lead run. Matt washed out in the transfer into the bridge wall, straightened out, and he hit the tires. Got lucky.
So we need to review some data and figure out why that happened, because the car was amazing all weekend. The crew did great. So just gotta rethink and figure out what happened.
For top 8, I had Justin Pollock. He's a Falcon Tire teammate, and man, that was a tough battle. So I tried as hard as I could, resulted in one more time. We gripped the car a little bit more, and then we got the win. So really looking forward to moving on.
We tried to give the boost as much as we could, but while chasing Frederick, I couldn't keep the car drifting because we had so much grip in the car, because I didn't want to take that away, but the car didn't have enough power for the grip it had without the nitrous, so like we're down to probably 650 horsepower, which is a lot of power, but not enough for the grip we run these days. So I tried my best with what we had, and yeah, I definitely want to come back fighting at the next event.
I can't even describe like how I feel right now. I mean, I feel like that was my best chase run on this track that I've ever done, and super amazing feeling to go up against some of the best in the world here on the streets of Long Beach, and to come out with a victory. I mean, I'm at a loss for words right now.
I did a mistake behind him. I forget that Forest is Forest.
With the angle and everything.
Yeah.
Formula Drift Insider on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Black Magic. Own your shine. By Gum Out. Science in, performance out. By Nitto Tire. Fueled by enthusiasts. And by Achilles Radio. Tires you can trust.
The Final Four is here, and the first battle poses 3-time Formula Drift champion Chris "The Force" Forsberg versus perennial contender Odi Bakshi's. The championship has escaped Odi Bakshi's in previous years, but this year his eyes are on the prize. It was a tit-for-tat battle, but Odi eventually gets the win.
So going into the round, I was able to set up the car to predict how Chris's car is going to be, and I think we got it pretty close. I definitely had to drive really hard because he's just hard to beat, but overall it went really smooth, and you know, we ended up winning that battle.
We didn't keep up with him out of one. He had that little bit on us, and yeah, and he got it. So it's all good. Hats off to him and his crew, but that gives us third place. So I'm happy to take a cup home today.
Trying to calm my nerves a little bit. It's a little stressful as the rounds start going, getting closer and closer.
The sun is out in Long Beach, and so are these stars. Frederick Osbo, second overall last year, wants to better that, but it begins here on the streets of Long Beach. Forrest Wang, with a new livery and a new scheme, says, "Not today, Osbo. It's my turn."
Halfway through my chase on Forest, I noticed my engine starting to sound like a Harley Davidson. I was down not just one cylinder, but 2 cylinders. Started smelling like oil, and I lost all power. Came in, it was steaming everywhere, so I literally blew the motor trying to chase Forest down.
But I think I could have done it a lead run. It wouldn't have been pretty.
No, this thing would catch on fire. Yeah, it's not even.
Yeah.
Defeat for some, but the finals are set. Odi Bakshi's and Forrest Wang. Odie Bakshi's always a contender for the championship. He wants to kick things off here in Long Beach very strong, but he has to go through a very smooth and aggressive Forrest Wang. Forrest Wang has been hitting his stride over the past few seasons, but Odie Bakshi's has quickly become one of the best chasers in the biz. Odie Bakshi's leads strong. On the second run, Forrest Wang gets that clean air and dragging his bumper on the wall, but cannot shake Odie Bakshi's. Into the second outer zone go both drivers, and Odie Bakshi's with the very clean transition, just allowing him to skirt on by. And bringing it around the peninsula, Odie Bakshi's is a clear-cut winner. He starts things off with the points lead.
Winning the first round of the season is an amazing feeling because it sets you up with, you know, some point cushion going into the second round, and you just feel a little bit more at ease, you know. It's also one of those things where you got to reset. You can't just ride on that high. You got to really, you know, ground yourself and prepare really, really diligently for the next round because you're basically starting at scratch. It's a new venue. Everyone's gathering notes from this round, getting their car back together, so everyone's going to be out in kill mode, and I got to do the same.
You know, it's still a good day all in all. Team worked good, car worked well. You know, everything was pretty dialed in, and I'm feeling comfortable in the new setup, and looking forward to the next round.
We saw drivers like Odie and Forrest and Chris on top of the podium. This gave them a huge lead and a huge boost to go into round 2 and the rest of the season. Like we said, this is an ultra important round, ultra important start to the season. The next 2 months is going to be intense.
I mean, the competition was amazing. Every year we come here and we wonder how things are going to play out. And they just keep ratcheting it up a bar. And 2019 has kicked off to be one of the most amazing seasons in so many different ways. For every driver that I saw in the top 32, there was no disappointment in the level of their skill.
The 2019 season kicks off with a bang and a popping of champagne bottles for these 3 drivers and also the points leaders, Odie Bakshi's, Forrest Wang, and Chris Forsberg. The targets are on their back, and next stop is in Orlando.